Auto.
That's recording.
Okay.
Arjun.
Fuck you, Craig.
Now recording.
Okay, we have very special guest, Matthew Salerno. You can introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, my name's Matt, and I'm super happy to be here on OJ, and thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for coming. So I think everyone has a decent recollection of who Matthew is based on like going to our school and everything. So I'm just gonna start it off. Why did you leave, first of all?
Honestly, like with long talks with my parents, and sort of like what I was doing at Sage and like the culture there, I don't know if it was like perfect for me, and I think I started to get like really off track in like my aspirations in my life, and I wasn't spending my free time probably as good as I should have been, and I think that led to the decision that I was going to transfer. Also, another reason is COVID hit, and Sage is a sorry, my bad.
We literally don't care anymore.
Okay, and that one and my first high school was it's pretty expensive, and to not be in person for an entire year and like pay that amount of money didn't seem like didn't seem like a great like investment. So I went to my other school, and I've been in person like all throughout COVID, even though with like the mask mandates and stuff. But it didn't really like cause that big of a bump of my road and like my high school experience, which is nice. And I think that was a big reason I transferred and that kind of all together. And also my brother went to the school I'm at now, and my parents really liked it, and like my brother's a really great kid, like great morals and all that. And I think that was just kind of like the full story of why I left.
Yeah.
So you left to try and get good morals, essentially.
I mean, I don't want to say that. I think it was just kind of like just like keep me on track. Like Woody, like like kind of like the stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure
Um,
everybody knows. And I just like, and I think my parents were kind of seeing into that, and I got like in trouble with them. So
Sophomore year, I drove with Woody and Matt in Woody's car, and like I just have to say, like my eyes were open, and that's like the first time I was like, damn.
really,
Yeah, bro, that's like the first. I don't know if you guys are cool with me saying, but that's like the first time like I ever saw someone do anything, and I was just like, holy shit, Matt is cool as fuck.
no, but
no, that is not the takeaway from that.
I must agree with Woody with that one. Then and there, I'm a pretty impulsive person, and like sometimes like that isn't the best. So, but I don't. I really like miss Sage. Like you guys have no idea, dude. Like I talked to Woody about it a good amount, but like just not being there anymore, it's like it really sucks, dude. I really like. I didn't realize I'd miss it as much as I do.
yeah. So what are like the day-to-day differences at your new high school? We've all been on the campus, and it's like very weird. There's like 5 people per class. So what is it like there?
Yeah. To start off, I think the biggest like culture change is at Sage. Sorry.
It's
At,
fine.
all right. There's
Chris mute, bro.
Press mute.
Come on, bro.
there's a lot of diversity at Sage. They're a very progressive school. And I think I didn't realize as much as that as I did at my new school. At my new school, it's like obviously it's a Christian school, so like super to the book. A big thing was like gender, like actually was not really like up for debate, which is something I'm not a religious person. I don't go to church. I have been to church, but I don't go to church. I'm more agnostic, and that switch into like that more like Christian culture from like a secular school was just crazy. Like day to day, like no gender neutral bathrooms. I have chapel once a week. Like constant prayers. I have to take a mandatory theology class this year, which is all great. I mean, it teaches you like good stuff, but still, it's a bit more barriers, I'd say, on like the day to day of everything.
Yeah.
What some people like, but yeah, small school.
So you were talking about how at our school you felt like you weren't able to like reach your aspirations or something like that? What are those aspirations, and how are you able to like further them where you're at right now?
Um, right now at Pacifica, or sorry, Jesus. Right now at my new school, um, I really want to work in with money, and specifically like real estate. And I think Sage, you can pretty much dive into any like profession you want at a really young. Sorry, I keep saying at whenever you want at a really young age, and I think that's super important. But I'm just talking about how I spent a lot of my free time. Um, I think it's a big like work hard, play hard kind of environment, and I think sometimes I was playing harder than I was working, which is
Word.
uh which is kind of like the wrong side of the scale you want to be on. And I feel like sort of the influence at my new school is a lot less. It's a lot more like work mentality and like don't play as much. And I think that's kind of like setting me on track. Like I kind of like I guess I'd say like I read more. Um I've had like the opportunity to like have like several like interviews and connect with like parents that are in the industry I want to like go into. And I think Sage offers the same thing. I think Sage I'm sorry. I think that is like the number one college prep school and like around here, so I really like it. But I'm just mostly talking about how I spend my free time is how I think what got in the way of my well-being.
Mm. So, do you think you've changed since you left at all, like as a person?
Yeah, totally. I think I still relate a lot with everyone from Sage. I really like seeing everyone going back. I see some of like the kids that you guys know I was cool with. I see them pretty often, and I like love each and every one of them like to death. And I always enjoy hanging out with them. But as a person, I think I'm a lot I'm a lot less. I'd say I'm a lot less impulsive. Kind of a lot less like aggressive. I think a lot of people at Sage on first impression kind of thought it was like a dick, and like I kind of like walk around with a chip on my shoulder, which I totally get. I think that side of me is sort of like gone away. I think I was just sort of like you come into high school, and I feel like everybody feels like you're like so you're nervous, but like you're a good nervous, and you're anxious, and there's a lot of like possibilities, and you're super hopeful. And I think like that sort of like puts me like, oh, like I should be a bit more defensive or this or that. And then going to Pacifica after having like 2 years of school, sorry, going to the new school after having like 2 years of school under my belt. I think I just like went in with a different mentality because I didn't really know anybody there, and it's sort of like starting over high school, but already like going to high school for 2 years. So everything I
Mm.
did wrong, I wanted to go back and do right, and I think that's been super beneficial. In the way like I approach people, the way like I don't think I'm a very judgmental person. I think I kind of used to be, and I think that was all like benefits like, coming to like a new school with new feelings and new people.
Bro, I would have to like completely disagree with you on that.
Yeah, bro.
You said that you thought that everyone you think that everyone thought you were a dickhead, but it was the exact opposite. Like
No, 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 no.
no,
He's a
that's
fucking
just
asshat.
Woody. But like
Dude,
everyone
okay,
like
wait.
if you ask everyone, like we all thought of you as like a very like genuine like person. Like you were like super nice, super approachable.
Okay, good. Honestly, like I might get in my head too much, but I know there's like mixed emotions on. I think my friends at
Matt,
Sage.
Matt,
Are,
I think
yeah.
if I could say so, I think Matt, you behaved as someone who like saw it from the basketball boys' perspective and like the other guys and the girls and everything. You behaved very differently with different friend groups. You were much more genuine and like nice and helpful to the boys in this chat than you were to like other parts of the Sage population, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I thought, yeah. I mean, I've had my struggles with some of them, obviously. Uh,
Mm,
I think that's a good
you
thing.
tell.
Honestly, sorry, yeah. A lot of them, they don't mess with me like that. A few do. Um, I've had some big falling outs with some of them, but I'm glad you guys all all the thing. I always really liked you guys, especially because I feel like I like basketball and sports and like a lot of music. Like some of you boys. Can I say names of people in here? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Like I remember
Yeah.
like Ridwan and I don't know if I'm allowed to say Justin. Like
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
you guys low key put me on like so much music, and I was always like super appreciative of that. I didn't really know about like Chief Keef, and I saw like Ridwan post about it, and I was like, it opened my mind, dude. Like that was one of the best days ever. And Justin with like Playboy Cardi,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
crazy.
yeah, like I really enjoyed. I've never had more fun on a basketball team than I think my sophomore year. That was
Yeah.
just tons of fun. Like all of us out there. I know. I was lucky enough to play with David for a bit my freshman year. But I was like, but like me, like Woody, Chris, Bachta, I think that was super bonding for us. I'm really glad I had those experiences. Like I really look back on them with like, just like that was so much fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and to that point, like, dude, I've literally never met a human being that's disliked you. And I know I've told you, like, back in freshman year when I was on my David shit, like, the first time I met you, I thought you were a dick, but that was literally, like, within, like, 5 minutes of meeting you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay,
I
that's
think
good.
I think the only thing that makes you like look like a dick is the fact that you were like ripped for a not ripped, you were like bulky for a freshman.
Yeah,
You know
you
what
were
I'm saying?
big for a freshman.
Yeah, dude. The football, dude, they push you on some good training routines. I'm I need to catch back up on that. I know David's super ripped now. Good motivation.
Yeah, well,
No,
I've been working
no,
out a
no,
lot.
no,
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 David's
no,
pretty
No,
no,
fat.
no.
no, no, no.
You
I'm
should see
fat ripped.
Justin though.
I'm fat ripped.
If you seen
No,
Josh,
Justin is
He
fucking
did. He
Josh
saw
got
the
disgusting.
big.
session.
Really, I haven't seen Justin in a minute, bro.
Yeah.
I'd love to catch up with y'all. I love catching up with y'all now. Um, it's just great, bro. Like so I look forward to stuff like this.
So
Yeah.
like you said like sophomore year was probably the most fun you had playing basketball, but what was it like your junior and senior year at your new school?
So at my junior year, this is interesting. I don't know if anyone knows. We went like 0-10. Um,
Wow.
we did
Yeah,
not win.
they
Oh
suck.
yeah, Woody and Bachta played against us, and we were brutal. Um, I I didn't. I'm gonna be real. I didn't show up to a lot of the practices. Probably like an ego thing. I in the beginning of the year I practiced varsity, and honestly, I don't have the size, I don't have the speed, I don't have the shooting, I don't have the skill to really like keep up with those guys at like that stage. And so my junior year they put me on JV, coming to a new school. I was kind of upset. I was pretty ticked off. I didn't like show the coach a lot of respect or go to like a lot of practices, like I said. And it was just not fun, dude. Just like having a loser's mentality. Like I'd honestly go in and I'd post up against. I've had to play center, but then I'd play like center and like kind of like a 3 guard at times. And we just had no one, like no skill, no talent. Like Woody would be a starter on our team, which is sad to
Yeah,
hear.
fuck you.
Um,
No, it's because I'm goated at basketball.
I think
What do you do?
I think my favorite moment though, we were playing a home game at the new school, and Woody was guarding me, and I have a video of it. I hit a 3 on his head, and
Yeah,
then
and then you lost, and you dropped like 3 points on me
No,
total, and
my
those were the
favorite
3
moment.
points.
My favorite moment from that game was Woody checking himself in
Held
with
in.
2 minutes to
Matt-
go.
Okay, look, that was entirely like miscommunication.
Oh, Woody's so troll, bro. Woody was not supposed to be in there, and we came back because of that. Woody, you're the reason.
No, I was not. Okay, Matt, you scored like 3 of those points of that comeback, and by the time I went in, the comeback had already been going for like 17 points. You
Okay,
can't
well,
say it was all me.
just so you know, I had like 18 points that game.
Yeah, and 17 of them were on Bacta.
No,
Okay,
they weren't.
Bachta is too big. Sorry.
Yeah, Matt. No, I just want to hear the perspective of when Woodworth was shooting over the vertically challenged kid on your team and airballed like
Oh,
5 times.
brother.
Okay, Woody, you're actually scum for that, and you'll always be remembered.
Look, I was being yelled at to fucking shoot that ball. The first 2 were like somewhat on target, but at the third, I was laughing my ass off, like in front of this kid's face, and I low key
Okay.
felt very bad about it. But
I'm gonna
I
have
was
to-
watching. You weren't laughing. You were
Yeah, I'm
dead
gonna-
serious.
laughing. Yes, I was. What do you
You were
mean? I
dead
was
serious trying to
smiling.
do it.
What
You
do
were
you?
You were
dead
trying to
serious.
make that shot, bro. Come on.
No, the
What do you-
first I was trying to make all of them. Like I won't deny that, but I'm just saying that like my focus on like the third one was just me laughing. Like at least on the inside, I don't know what my face was doing. I might have like looked pissed off, but
Okay,
I was like dying inside.
no, Woody, that's a lie, and I'm gonna be real here. Everybody thought you were the challenged kid on the team after doing that. So,
Yeah, and then I met some of the kids and smacked the shit out of them, and that's the end of that. So it's
but
fine.
I'm glad you had that experience. That was funny. That was really really funny. I like.
Dude.
Oh my god.
I'll never forget that.
That moment took away from the fact that I missed 2 dunks in a row right before
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that was so disrespectful, dude. Cherry picking like that.
Oh my god, I literally just stood at half court while y'all kept chucking up shots.
Yeah, no, we'd shoot free throws and they never go in, and
But-
you'd just be standing and all the way back at the hoop, just like
Me and you like had the opportunity to make that the most hype game like in like our like JV basketball history, and we just fucked
Oh
it
my
up,
God.
dude.
You know, there was a
Bro, I
lot
was
of people that
watching-
came to Matt's home game. I don't know why.
wait,
A
who
lot
did?
of who?
There's a lot of people that came to Matt's home game.
No, it's
Yeah.
because okay, so Em was there, and it was like her friend group. It's because they're like
Don't
really.
say her name.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
It was her friend group, and they're
Don't
like
say their
ti-
name.
they're tight with another girl in who goes to Matt's school, so they were
Mm.
there partially because of that. I think, right, Matt?
Yeah, they were tight with my girlfriend at the time, so it's come out a little rivalry, I guess. It was pretty embarrassing now that I look back on it, but
You guys came back at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys made it
And
close.
we got yelled at in the parking
Bro.
lot so bad.
Wanted to kill us.
yeah, I don't blame you. Honestly, like that was the worst basketball team I've ever been a part of, and I just want to say that. But senior year was a different story. That was lots of fun.
Well, yeah, it was really nice holding the water bottles as you walked in the gym, right, Matt?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. You know,
Yeah, I can
um,
relate, but like still.
it feels nice to win, Woody, and not quit the team because you have to play JV or senior.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
got
on your
him.
head.
Yeah.
He's
On his
on your
head.
head.
I could have been on varsity. I chose to leave.
No.
No.
Yes,
Woody,
I
Could've been a
did.
team
Yes,
manager.
I
Woody,
made.
you emailed and you were like, I sweat blood and tears with these guys.
I can read out the email right now. I did not.
Yeah,
say that
read it
shit.
out. Go
Yeah,
for
read it out.
Coach
Woody,
Bo,
Woody,
please let me
read
on
it out.
varsity.
Read
Here,
it
let
out,
me
Woody.
see.
I want to hear this so bad.
Yeah,
now.
I'll
Read
read
it
it out
on his
for you.
Let me
Just have
find
a
it.
screenshot of it.
Yeah, Bachta, read this out, dude.
I need to
Wait,
find it
It's from
first.
so long ago. Here, when was the beginning of fall? Like August?
Just look on your Outlook.
No, I just did. It didn't show up.
Really?
Yeah, because it's only stuff from him, not shit to him.
This was probably like September or October. Wait, no, September.
Wait.
Is that-
I'm looking at sent
I know.
shit.
You could have been the greatest team manager of all time. Like, I'm not even trolling.
Yeah, Woody, you totally would have. Everybody wants a big booty team manager, and you just fill that role.
Okay, I may or may not have said the blood, sweat, and tears thing after further.
I
After
told you, bro. Like I know this stuff.
Read it. Read it.
Wait, I want to.
God, I can't find it.
How do you have it?
Cause Woody sent
I
this
sent it.
email to all of us.
Sent it to you guys, so I was like, "It's good."
Wow. I
It was so funny.
respect that, Woody. I mean, that's dedication.
No, okay.
He
It
just
wasn't
didn't
e-
want to be a part of the JV team.
Yeah, no,
Hey.
it wasn't. It wasn't like a matter of pride of like refusing to be on JV. It was just because like I don't know anyone on the team, so I wanted. Why are we talking about me, Matt? What are you doing? I
No,
just
you could have been
realized
with
that.
Austin.
This isn't my podcast.
It
No,
could
this
be.
is. I got it, dear coach. I wanted to ask if you could move me up to Group A on the fall basketball roster. For the
Unmute him.
past 3 years, I've been practicing, playing, sweating, and bleeding with the same group of guys in my grade. The majority of whom
Bleed-
are on Group A and not
Bleeding.
B. The sense of competition that I get with them allows me to push myself much more, and it is simply not the same with these other athletes. You know that I also work hard in practice, and if you were to ask some of my peers, you would hear that I have been consistently staying after practice to get in extra reps or run a few more laps around the track, which is proof of my dedication and willingness to work. If this isn't possible, I am sorry to inform you that I will be leaving the fall basketball program, as I don't think I will be able to benefit from it any longer. Best, Matthew Woodworth.
Wow.
No, it timed out
Wow.
perfectly.
Wow. That's a well written email though. I give you that. A well written email. What you kind of just dissed like everybody that was on your B team or whatever.
Yes,
You
no,
just
fuck all of them. I
You
made
just
that
Austin.
okay.
Miss
Austin,
Austin,
I
yeah.
didn't. Did I know Austin was on B at that? Yeah, I did.
Yes, everyone knew.
No, it's because Austin actually asked me to not move, and I was like, no.
Austin should be moved.
Austin should have been Austin should have been on varsity. I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, this is Matt.
Yeah.
Back
So
on
Salerno,
topic.
you played your senior year with like some. You had D1 athletes on Pacifica this year, right?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Wait,
we have one
that was-
kid we have one kid with a D1 offer and one other kid who will have a D1 offer. He has like prospects looking at him like UC San Diego. I think some Ivies came in, and
Was
so
that
we have one D3 guy going to NYU. Another kid who's playing a prep, and then he's gonna go I think D2, and then two D1 guys.
so? How is it like being in that environment? Like you were
Well,
actual like pretty competitive basketball team.
I'll tell you, like I don't think I've ever busted my ass harder in my entire life. It is pretty hard. All those kids like live and breathe basketball like every day, every thought, every chat, every text. Um, like they get to business with that stuff, and I honestly wasn't used to that quite as much, that intensity. And I think that was just a big like just culture change. Like there's no being like you couldn't miss a practice, like you couldn't be late to practice. You have to touch the line like every single time. You have to make time. So good like time sprints, which are pretty bad. That I honestly wasn't making when I first got there. And then like towards the end, like started like pick it up and like like hit my lines and stuff. I was definitely the worst player on the team, but I was just proud to still like be on the team. And it's just like crazy. It's like we went to this thing called like section 7 in Arizona. We got to play like inside the Cardinal stadiums with like Jared McCain was there. All of Centennial was there. Kylan Boswell. We saw like the big guys from modern day. I think what is it? Oh, I'm blanking. That Southern California prep school with Dior was there.
Oh
And
yeah.
some two other guys, and it was just crazy seeing like thinking that I was like in a tournament with like people that like those type of people.
Yeah.
Obviously I didn't really get. I only stepped on the court for probably about 2 minutes and 4 games, which isn't great, but I still enjoyed every step of the way, and being in that like winning like culture has definitely been something I've lacked through like sports teams throughout my life. So that was a really great experience, honestly.
Mm.
I really enjoyed
So,
it.
how were you able to keep such a positive mindset though, knowing that you weren't going to play in like games and stuff like that?
Stop hating on bench warmers.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been bench warmer. So.
We kind of like our coach is a big emphasis on like every single man on the team matters. Like everybody knows that. Like everybody's supporting you no matter what we do. Like there's a lot of guys like me who really don't get minutes, and like we created this thing called bench mob, where we just be as loud, as rowdy as we like possibly could, just like support our guys, like get in the other team's head. If it's like talking like yelling from the bench, talking trash, kind of like down upon, but it's like doing that, like kind of like get them in their feelings. Like just like always like clapping, like cheering defense, calling out screens. Just like anything we can do to help. and
Yeah.
it's just fun. Like you're there for the ride. I'm sure like most people that play basketball have at one time like been on the bench before, and it's like good to embody. Like I don't want to be something I'm not. Like I'm not gonna act like, oh, I'm gonna come out here and like drop 20, or like I'm some 5-star with like a bunch of offers, and like I'm not. I'm gonna act like who I am. And I think that was like once like you settle into that, I think it's a smooth sailing from there and helping everybody out.
That's a good ass mentality. I think we lack that this year with our team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually extremely true. I'm sorry, I gotta head out now, but it was really nice talking with you, Salerno. And yeah, I'll talk to you later, man.
I'll talk to you too, dude. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, see you guys.
See you, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt, what's your college process like right now?
Dude, pretty brutal, man. I'm shooting. I applied to 15. I've heard back from 13. I'm going like 7 for 6 right. 7 for 6 right now.
7 for
And
13, you
I don't
mean?
think you can go 7 for
I mean,
6.
I'm so sorry. I'm
If
so
you're
sorry.
going,
Yeah,
if you're going 7 for
yeah,
6, that'd be kind of fire.
yeah. No, let's cut that out. Let's cut that out. Yeah, my bad. 7 for 13. I was just trying to think of like
Yeah,
I've heard a
yeah.
lot back from this week, and yeah, it hasn't been going quite as I wanted to. I think a lot of people are facing that. I applied to a lot of the UCs, and didn't really get back the responses I was hoping for. I mean, some hope, but still like not great. And those were super competitive this year.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah.
I do believe like looking back on it, like yeah, I probably could have done more, but like I'm here now. I think right now a front runner for me. Can I say colleges? Is that cool?
Yeah, yeah, go for
Yeah.
it.
I like slow and I like slow, Cal Poly slow a lot
Mhm.
right now. It's
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
it's thanks for letting me know, Woody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Stop
Uh,
interrupting.
um, I like that school a lot right now. Just like it's close, it's cheap. I wanted to
Yeah.
stay in California. I'd consider maybe doing like a transfer plan to a different school, but it just really depends how I like slow, first of all. Um, but yeah, it's been tough, man. Like this year has been it's been crazy. Like compared to like my brother's year on how competitive it was.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the most competitive year that there's been.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. It's not always the outcome that, we expected.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get into like my dream school. I wasn't really expecting to be honest, but it's like a tough break, like nevertheless. And
Yeah.
but everybody's saying like, oh, like life happens for a reason. So hopefully, I do find something good. And
I
wherever.
mean, it is true. Like it really, at the end of the day, it's not gonna like really affect the way that. Well, it will affect the way that your life go, but not in like a way that'll be like hurtful towards you, whatever college you go to.
Yeah. No, I feel you. It just sucks though. I feel like I'm like
Yeah.
I'm like right like I heard back from schools like literally yesterday. Um it's just like I'm right in the heat of it on like what is like the 7 stages of grief or whatever. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I need to like play that out. And I think our like this year especially and like maybe like the next few years too. Like college is just taking a turn, I think, for like generationally on how competitive it really is out there now.
It's crazy now.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like especially with the test optional stuff. It's just everybody's shooting out like every school. So
Mhm.
Exactly.
it's just like you can't. It's so
Yeah.
hard. It's like a dice roll. It really is just a dice roll.
If you look it up, there's some crazy stats about like percent increase in college applications like per year. It's like, dude, shits are they're getting. I don't know what I'm
Nice
saying.
job
I'm
finishing your
annoyed, bro.
sentences.
Way to finish
I'm
your
just very
thought,
mad.
Woody.
Yeah.
I'm sure like most
How
people are just going
articulate
through
of
this.
you, Woody.
I know.
But yeah, I guess I'm happy though. Honestly, I've heard some like people that they like that have a way better like resume and like transcripts than I do, and they've gotten hit harder than probably I have.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
um, I can just say like
Sandbox, okay.
we're all in this together. I feel like, and hopefully we'll all make it out fine. I low-key wish I stayed at Sage in a way for that type of stuff. I think Sage is really good, like college counseling
I,
setup
I
there.
don't know. I feel like it's
Yeah.
like 10 times more competitive for like the school that you'd want to go. Like your dream school is USC, right?
No, UCLA was
Oh,
the
UCLA.
go-to. Yeah,
Uh,
I feel like even at our school though, like a lot of the people that I don't know, like a
Actually,
lot of people in general, obviously, like because they're a lot more well off, but like a lot of people got outside counselors,
no,
and
one
like they weren't even like heavy on using their Sage counselors.
I forgot to
Yeah.
tell you guys this. One thing about USC, like in Sage in particular, that's really interesting, and I only know because my sister. Sage has a dedicated regional rep for Sage. USC does. Like as in their
I mean,
job.
that's like
No. You know how most people have like North Carolina
yeah.
and
It's
South Carolina.
just
They have
yeah.
Sage.
I know. I mean, it's like 70 kids from Sage that like apply every year. So
I understand, but do you realize how like ridiculous that is? Like one school gets a dedicated counselor.
Yeah,
They're like
because
North Carolina and Sage.
we
yeah.
pull in like half the revenue.
True.
It was also okay. We can't go into like actually whatever. Who gives a fuck? It was like the person that paid like 400K for their kid to get into Sage or to get into USC from Sage. Like what the fuck?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's so interesting. Like having a school that was sort of involved with all that like college scandal stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think it's just crazy that like we're in the heart of it. But like I don't usually say this word too often, but we are like pretty like blessed and like
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
and lucky that like we can go to these schools that are like so intense on education,
Mhm.
which like I think is super important. And I don't know about you guys, but I'd send my kids to schools like Sage and where I'm at now.
Yeah, I feel like it's underappreciated as well because like I know I wouldn't play basketball if went to like a public school or something like that. I wouldn't get like
Mhm.
half the opportunities that I get to do. I didn't
Yeah.
go to Sage, so
Yeah, 100%.
like it's important.
I'd be cut from like the freshman team.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I do like that. I think a lot of opportunity. I think it's very welcoming, and I feel like being smart now at like certain schools is like it's a cool thing. Like it's I want to be a nerd. I don't know about other people, but like I really like that mentality of like to like flex the fact that like I can do this like hard course or like I can take on this math problem.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I agree, but I think like there's a switch in like like hating on nerds to like wanting to be one,
Bro,
Yeah.
in middle
like
school,
societally.
I went to like a pretty poor school. Like a lot of the kids there had like no direction. And like I don't know, as being like the smart kid hanging around them, they wouldn't like mess with me for being smart at all cuz I don't know, they
Yeah,
thought it
you're
was
also
cool
like
too.
6'8" as like a
No,
third
Woody, I
grader.
was like
So.
I was like 5'10", like 110 pounds in middle school. I was like the most bullyable kid, but they wouldn't mess with me just cuz like I don't know, I wouldn't do like stupid shit.
And you're 5'10".
Okay, well,
Yeah,
That's
no,
pretty tall. That's
that
massive
is
for middle
tall.
school.
dude, these kids no, but
Bro,
I
I
don't
was
know. My
5'10" in middle school.
my school had big kids.
I was one of the tallest kids, and I was like,
Matt, you're not even 5'10" now.
okay, Woody.
Woody, stop
Um,
hating.
Woody,
You're the
shut
biggest
up,
Matt
bro.
hater.
Always hate on Matt. It's part of my
No.
lifestyle.
no,
I
bro.
never saw it, but at the like every time we're at a party, like anytime Wood says anything, like him and Matt just start arguing for like 30 minutes straight. It's the funniest thing.
It's like a brotherly love. I've known Woody since before I was even a freshman. Um, I still remember when I met him at like orientation day, and I just thought, and all love to him now. He's like Woody's actually like a brother to me. I thought he was a clown. He was wearing like a dinosaur shirt.
Nah, wait, was I actually wearing a There's no way.
You were wearing a dinosaur shirt, and you're telling me we all like they put us in like circles to like introduce each one of us and talk about ourselves. And you said you're interested in playing in basketball, and I was too. And I'm like, there's no way this kid in a dinosaur shirt is gonna play basketball with me.
Well, you're right. I did not play basketball. I did something, but it wasn't basketball.
But
Bro,
no,
okay.
yeah, it's been I definitely did not like Woody when I first met him, and now like I love Woody like a brother, and that's why we
Thanks,
fight.
Matt.
It's like brotherly
Yeah.
love.
Bro, in like freshman year, this is how I knew like you weren't a dickhead. Cause when I was on my like Woody hate, I used to like hate Woody with a passion. I
Yeah,
talk
it's 'cause I
shit about
started
Woody
over you
all the
shitty
time.
bitch.
and you would like protect him, but you like wouldn't be disrespectful at all. But I don't know. It's like a really genuine thing of you to do.
Thank you. I hope Woody hears that right now, because
Nah, fuck you.
me and Woody were talking about this. I swear, like 30 minutes before we hopped on, about I'm telling Woody, I'm like, bro, like you think I'm way meaner to you, or I do
No,
like way
no.
than
Okay,
actually.
well, I'm not talking about like then. Like I understand then you could have done a lot worse shit. I'm saying like now in terms like, okay, Matt, we can't talk about like the exact topics we are going on about earlier.
All right, Woody, this isn't couples counseling. I don't.
Yeah, okay.
Woody, I hope you know you were a very it was very
Yeah,
easy to
bro.
hate
Like
you in
the fact that
freshman
Matt
year.
didn't hate you in freshman year is kind of crazy because you were annoying.
Mm.
You
You
were
you guys heard
so
you guys
annoying.
heard my explanation in my podcast. You know the reason. It's fine. Also,
It's okay.
why do you guys keep
Pretty
talking
dumb
about
reason.
me during Matt's podcast? Like,
Cause I don't know, you're a big part of Matt's life.
You are, Woody.
aw.
You are. No joke.
Wow.
I care, man. I think
And-
like all the stuff that we've been through, and like Bhakta, dude, you're like really close to me at Sage. I felt like too. Our
Yeah.
freshman year chem.
Oh, bro. We need to clear something up. I
Yeah.
didn't hang out with Rod Squad at all, right?
No, never.
That's
a
what I'm
oh
saying,
my god.
Ridwan.
Wait,
No.
Ridwan was saying you did?
Ridwan was saying that I followed you around to like Rod Squad, but I was just like friends with you.
Yeah, you might have had like we had study hall on B block, and it was like you, me, Woody, and Marcus.
Yeah.
Oh,
think
I
that-
forgot about that. Yeah.
I think that might have been, and Ty was there in that one too. I think. Yeah.
That
And
was a stacked. That was actually a
yeah,
very stacked free.
they're like, hit me up, bro. I miss you.
The
I
dude
miss
does not
Dude,
exist.
he hasn't
You just
talked to
not
me in
listen
so
to this. I'll
long.
say that.
Okay. Well, it was worth a try. Um, but yeah, I think that was it. I guess you sort of talked to Rob through basketball, but I don't think it ever went like farther than that. To be honest.
Nah, definitely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, is that what you guys call it, Rod Squad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
like that.
how
name.
Rod became. It's just because Rod is the loudest, and yeah, that's basically.
Rod is Rod.
Yeah, I like Rod. I've grown up with Rod since like I think I met him in 6th grade, and then went to school with him in 7th. So I've been around Rod Squad for a long time being.
Yeah. All right.
But
We should drag on this podcast.
Yeah. Bakta, what are the closing questions again?
Oh, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
stable and happy. Like financially
Aw.
stable. Financially stable.
Not mentally.
Yeah, if we're talking like more on the profession side of things, I'd like maybe a possibly a career path job in like real estate investment. I think that's a big passion I have. Investing, dealing with money, and particularly real estate. Growing up in Southern California, I think has some really like lucrative properties. I'd love to be a part of. Um, but honestly, that stuff doesn't matter. Like life will take me on the roller coaster that it does. Just
Facts.
does. As long as I'm happy and I'm doing well and like friends and family, that's where I want to see myself, and I'm gonna try to do everything in my power to get there.
It's fire.
Fine.
All right.
And then no, okay. Then also, what are your short-term goals for like the end of this year?
Senior year, I think a lot of people have some interesting takes on what they want to do. I'm not looking to go like, oh, like I just like have like a month to do this or a month to do that.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm looking for closure, to be honest. Like I want to leave um like my area with just like high hopes, and I want to look back on it and just like think of only the good things and like all the good relationships I built. Like I want to be able to like reach out to like any single person I met in high school, and like in my 30s, 40s, 50s, and just be like, hey, like what's up, man? Like I want to make sure like I'm close enough to like rekindle like a friendship, because like you never know whose path you may cross later in life. And
Yeah.
so I'm not looking to like party it up or like burn any bridges. Um honestly, I'm just looking like, like the next chapter of my life is coming, and I just want to like prepare myself for that, and like just take a big step out of my comfort zone on like anything. Even like coming on like this podcast is I don't think it's something like I'd normally like really think about doing, but I just want to I want to be like a yes man and just like kind of go with the flow and meet new people and do new things.
That's actually sick. That's a
Thank
good.
you.
All right, are we good to end then? Anything else, Arjun? Wood?
Yeah, I think we're good.
No, I'm pretty sure that was the last like big question we always ask.
All right, sick.
All right, well, thanks so much
Alright.
for having me on, guys.